Hey, we're on Route 66 in New Mexico. We just left the town of San John, and Cedar Hills. Grocery store, we're headed to Tucumcari right about here. We're Route 66, our 1926 road turns west at the frontage road of I-40 over here. Used to be a big rock called Monument Rock, about 6 miles east of Tucumcari. Anyway, toppled over sometime in 1980 onto some lady's farm. Used to be a great stopping spot for lots of tourists to take pictures. Not sure exactly where it was, but just right about here somewhere. Also, this is the location of the Goodnight Loving Trail Monument, which is no longer here either. So the Goodnight Loving Trail was a trail used by the cattle drives in the late 1860s for the large movement of the Texas Longhorns from Texas up through New Mexico, Colorado, as far north as Wyoming. And the trail's named after Charles Goodnight and Oliver Loving. Anyway, that was called the Goodnight Loving Trail, right up here for the cattle drives. And we're gonna enter Tucumcari, a little bit south, and then we go north under I-40. Hey, welcome to Tucumcari, New Mexico. This is Route 66. There's a ton of stuff to see down here. We're gonna pull over by that Super 8 at the old Whiting Brothers station. Hey, we're on Route 66 now, Tucumcari. It's called Tucumcari Boulevard, up and down. It's all abandoned, big steel poles. Nothing here anymore. But right next to the Super 8, it's our first site. This is the Whiting Brothers service station. There's over 100 of these service stations, and 32 were located on Route 66. Used to have a big sign in front, supported by 2 steel poles. That was taken down around 2015. They also owned the Whiting Brothers Motel downtown. Big funky neon sign out front. Over here, that guy, that's a old Phillips 66 station. It's a newer model right now, red and white colors. 66 shield on the sign. Used to have square edges on the canopy. And today it's a different shop. It's got rounded canopy, thick columns. Next door, that black kind of lighted thing, that's the old Gateway Inn. There, and you see, nothing's here. Got some poles here for a big sign. We got a nice Shell station. This yellow guy here is our 1960s ranch style service station. And that style was introduced by Shell in 1957. It has a low sloping gable roof, brick finish, chimney-like extension at the top there, sticking up, rising from the roof. Used to have the Shell logo displayed on that chimney. Used to have Shell on the sign up front here. Right, and also right there, see? S-H-E-L-L. Supported by those big, tall steel posts. Today's called Shell Curios Shop. It's a great looking place to check out. We're gonna head a half mile down this way to another site. Wow, look at this great cinder block building. Beautiful sign, old tire, looks like a repair shop. Advertisement. This one here is an old Gulf filling station. The flat top canopy, glass pane windows all around the office here. In the service bays, kind of sticking up there, you see that? This is really typical of Gulf stations. They have bands around the canopy right up here. Anyway, little red painted bands right there. You got the garage, and the office, and the right angle canopy covers all around the top here. Big poles in front and our little gas pump islands. So it looks like a box style gas station. Beautiful roll up bays here. Unbelievable. Hey, across down here we got some markers to take a look at. Hey, up ahead here we found 2 markers. This one here is all about Tucumcari. Population 6,765, elevation 4,096 feet. That's all about our little town here, Tucumcari, and the one up here, a little more westerly. This is all about Tucumcari Mountain, and you go online and read all about the mountain and how cool it is. But it's right up there. See that mountain? That's Tucumcari Mountain. Anyway, it's real famous out here. We'll continue a little more. Hey, here we have Ken's Ice Cream Sandwiches. Beautiful shop here, opened in 1979 by Ken Humphrey. Closed the doors in December 2018. So at one time it had a red roof eave, and on the eave here it said sandwiches, and on the top of the roof there, big block letters said Ken's Ice Cream. And the neon sign here has that little roundabout arrow lighting up and pointing you down to these beautiful ice cream shops. So a lot of kids got their first job here at Ken's. It's all closed up now. You even have an old style phone booth. US West Communications. No phone though. Across the street from Ken's here, this was the Pony Soldier Motel. You could tell by those white poles there. Used to hold the sign up for Pony Soldier Motel. Once owned by the Whittingtons. Brown cottage style office in front with a slanted gray roof. Along the back, sort of horseshoe shape, were rows of single level attached rooms. But today all we have is these poles here. Held up the great neon sign. Used to read Pony Soldier Motel, High Plains Hospitality, clean rooms, great rates, microwaves, refrigerators, and cable TV. The boxes with the motel letters on top had a cool cavalry sword running through the center. And at one time they held an old wooden wagon up front, and now they just have this kind of broken down trailer. Up here's Polly's Gas. Here we have Polly's Gas. It's called Jim's #1 Texaco station. So Jim owned 2 Texacos, one on the other side of town, one here. And Texaco, and these big block vertical letters on the sign said Texaco. Going down. Anyway, the station was abandoned and then fixed up by a group of volunteers to make it Polly's Station. And Polly's was a gas station brand owned by Wilshire Oil Company out of Los Angeles and sold gasoline in California from 1914 to 1960. Up here, that's called Johnson's Enco gas station. Right here, built by a guy named Johnson. Anyway, fixed up by the same volunteers who fixed up Polly's Gas. Over here, made it look like a Phillips 66 station. In 2018, it had a dark canopy. And today's a little more painted. And this design is our textbook 1960s Enco station. The office there is on the left here, and has that distinct slanted roof right above the office. That's our Enco. Beautiful. It has this 2-part layout. And the flat canopy here over the gas pump islands. And the 2-bay garage, which is higher than the office area. You got 2 vintage pumps right in front. Here, they're on display under that old school garage sign. Anyway, this was Johnson's Enco gas station. Here we have the beautiful Tucumcari Inn right here. Then we have the Route 66 Motel. So this is our Tucumcari Inn. Also the Tucumcari Motel, but originally this is called the Aruba Motel and Tiki Bar Restaurant. Opened in 1960s, had 28 tastefully appointed, unusually well maintained rooms. Combination of tubs, showers, central refrigeration, hot water, room, phones, cable TV, and a heated swimming pool on this beautiful piece of property. So the office on the right is this giant flat canopy here for registration. That's a little gabled style roof here. We got 28 rooms that wrapped all the way around. Used to have flat roofs. Now, of course, they're gabled on top, a little slanted. And what's left of the tiki bar, completely unchanged. Over here, used to have a sign on top. Said tiki sign right on top of that guy. Got some palm trees there sticking up. That's our tiki bar. So the original sign in front said Best Western Aruba Motel. And that's right here. Here we go. That's our Best Western Aruba, supported by those 3 steel poles right there. You usually have a tiki head guy on top of the front post as well. Anyway, so behind the hotel was kind of a kidney-shaped pool by a little pool house. That's our original Aruba motel and tiki bar over here. And this guy here is our Route 66 motel. This is our historic Route 66 motel. Used to be called the Royal Palacio Motel. Built in the 1960s, had a super colorful modern design, horseshoe layout, flat roofs, great accents on the trim. And today we have this super layout as well, a little more cleaned up, flat roofs and this little blue white color. So in its heyday, the Royal Palacio, it boasted a lower cost, 25 ultra-modern units, tile baths and shower combinations, room phones, cable TV, fireproof, even a mobile travel guide. We used to have an old vertical sign up front. It read Motel Royal Palacio, no pool but free laundry. And that's been replaced by this sign here and the one way up there by the office. See, we have an airplane here. This great looking community park, it's called Wales Park out here in Tucumcari. We have a little monument here. It's Comanche territory. 1700, the Comanches had acquired the horse from the Spanish conquistadores, began moving up in this area, and they drove out the Apaches, became a constant threat to the new white settlers, and the Comanches were finally defeated by the U.S. Army in 1874. That's the story of our little Wales Park. Across the street, this little marijuana dispensary. Today, this used to be a gas station called the ATEP's Deep Rock Filling Station. Anyways, old gas station, long one-story building, no canopy. But up front, you can see where those lanterns are. That's the little outline of the 3 pump islands in the parking lot. So in the 1920s, Deep Rock was acquired by Standard Oil. Went bankrupt in the 1930s, acquired by Kerr-McGee in the 1950s. Anyway, 2015 it became the Heritage Barber and Hairstyling Salon. Today's the Dank of the West marijuana dispensary. And here, that guy's our Kerr-McGee. Right there, used to be former McMurphy's Mobile Service Station. Originally owned by George Hare, later sold to Mickey McMurphy. And today's little small warehouse maybe for Kerr-McGee. Kerr-McGee's an oil and gas exploration company. 2-bay garage on the left, office on the right. It's all filled in, the canopy's gone. See the gas pump islands right in front there? That's where the gas pumps were in the post here. That's for our sign. Right at the top of the post said mobile right up there. It's our Kerr-McGee gas station. Hey, this is the Kiva A-OK Welcome Motel on Route 66. So originally this was called Mesa Court with views of the famous Tucumcari mountain. Later it became the iconic Kiva Court Motel. Advertised 30 air-conditioned units, panel array heat, family units, a couple kitchenettes. The best for less. And today it's run as a RV camp, but extremely modern, box-shaped parapets above the units, accent striping all along the edges, curved glass brick on the corner here. Anyway, the original sign was a squared off, looked like a shared K for Kiva and Court, then changed out to the arrow we have today. Used to say Kiva all along the top. It's our old Mesa Court, or the Kiva Court. We have a new building here and Tractor Supply, but up ahead is a couple more relics. O'Reilly Auto Parts. This was once the Cactus Motor Lodge, built in 1941, listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Great adobe style, Pueblo Revival design, stucco plastered walls. Sold in 1952, and the new owners modernized it by adding permastone to the outer walls. Even a new dance hall. Anyway, used to advertise, "A Western welcome awaits you at the foot of a famous Indian Tucumcari mountain." During the Route 66 days, the first motel you'd reach coming out of Glen Rio. U-shaped motel, 25 units, tile tub, shower baths, insulated walls, carpeted floors, steam heat, free radios, lockable garages. Also had a large pool in the center of the parking lot. The building up front on the left side of the complex was the dance hall. Anyway, local myth is that people used to gamble here in the basement, and then there was an escape tunnel if they were raided by the police. Anyway, the motel closed down in the 1990s, converted to an RV park in 2018. The skeleton became this building, O'Reilly Auto Parts. They tried to save it, but then they tore it down and built a new O'Reilly in 2019. Right here, the great 1950s neon sign was sold to a collector out in Albuquerque. And you go out to Albuquerque, you find it. This one here, Dickinson Implement Company. This used to be Holman 66 Phillips service station. Built in the 1970s, then became Holman's Phillips 66. Originally it was Pat's Phillips 66. Anyway, today it's the Dickinson Implement Company. Long, narrow building, short canopy right here. An office, and a roll-up garage, and a few service bays on the right. Anyway, that's the old Phillips station. That's pretty cool. Here we have the classic Palomino Motel. Opened in 1953. Called itself one of the Southwest's most beautiful hotels. Got a U-shaped layout, separate building up front that served the office. Had 20 air-conditioned rooms, covered carports between the rooms. Tiled tub shower combination, and a phone in every room. Look at a Route 66 hot rod coming down. Holy moly. Anyway, later the garages are filled in, make a total of 31 rooms. The front has this beautiful Palomino neon Route 66 sign here. Yellow on bluish background. The head of a Palomino right on top there. Spins around to light up the neighborhood. But originally the sign had a gold-coated horse with a white mane. Later it's changed to a newer, dark-colored neon, whoa, Palomino Motel sign, lit up at night to draw the motorists to the beautiful hotel here. Anyway, on the right over here, had a funky bunky horse bucking around with bright neon lights. Anyway, white horse figures also painted all around the property. Now we have a little wanted sign over there. This is the Almara Inn on Route 66. In the 50s, it's called the Tucumcari Travel Lodge. L-shaped layout, 39 rooms, TV, phones, baby cribs, a good restaurant. Also had a pool right in the center of the courtyard behind the main building. Originally had a long canopy right in front of the office here. Also had a fancy green neon Travel Lodge sign with this Almara sign. Sits today right up there where that cowboy and that wolf or coyote is. Used to be the Travel Lodge Sleepy Bear mascot, painted right above the office. Today, except for the colors, the place looks a lot the same. This here is Dell's Restaurant with that big cow on top since 1956. 1958 it advertised open 5 till 9 every day. Dinners, luncheons, gift shop, and cocktail lounge. Used to have a horizontal neon sign up front, but it's being replaced by this fellow right here. We have a kind of chimney in front. It says restaurant right on top. Anyway, this guy looks pretty much the same. This guy here is a restored Texaco. Used to be called Guy's Texaco. 1950s style service station. It originally started as Guy's and it's turned into Cards. Today it's a jewelry, collectibles, antique shop. You go in there, you got these great gas pumps right in front. Here, the original canopy was flat, supported by 2 poles there. Had racing stripes along the edges. Then restored to this gable roof canopy. This building here called Ann's Corner, buy and sell. Well, that was the site of the Flying M Ranch Motel. Built in the 1950s, U-shaped layout, Pueblo-style building, rough wooden beams jutting out of the facade. These beams are called vigas. Also had covered parking between the rooms. Advertised courtesy, comfort, economy, modern motel with tiled baths, air conditioning. Individual thermostats controlled the floor furnaces. The green shady patio for New Mexico's delightful evenings. Today this is called Ann's Corner Buy and Sell Antiques. And anyway, it's got that awning on top and this old office right there. That's pretty neat there. Up here, this pink building, that's called Mayberry's Chevron Standard Station. 2 service bays, multiple windows. On the bays there, flat canopy, single gas pump island right in front, modern plate glass windows for the office. Used to be more yellow-white theme, and today it's all pink. This here, this Roadrunner Lodge, we'll take a look at, but first we have this guy here. He's called the Fort Apache Motel. It's all boarded up and closed right now. But used to have a great, iconic, arrowhead-shaped neon sign. It's on the ground right here. Anyway, the original sign was in the 1950s, displayed a Kokopelli. That's the fertility god of the southwestern natives. It was a long-haired humpback man playing a flute. Today it was a Apache woman. You can't really tell. It's our Apache Motel. It was all boarded up. So what else we got? Oh, we got a Denny's here. Oh, you can tell by the Denny's because this boomerang-shaped little parapet roof here. Holy smokes, called Denny's Tucumcari Diner. 1960s boomerang roof. On top of the pole there, see? Looks like Denny's up there. The Denny's diamond sign now reads Kicks on 66. Anyway, the original Denny's here was painted white, and the pole holding the sign was a lot lower. It used to say, always open, Denny's restaurant. They have an arrow on top. But today it's this cool looking Kicks on 66 diner here. Wow. Next to our Denny's, Kicks on 66, the Relax Inn. This was originally the Circle S Motel. Super bustling business, started out as a 1 story building. Giant brick monument coming out of the roof. Right up there, it's still there today. Used to say Circle S Motel. Right on that chimney there. Now these connected rooms in back of the property. Used to have a swimming pool back there too. Anyway, later this larger Gotti sign was installed in front of the motel. Bright neon lights and arrows, and motel neon lights on this brick monument right there as well. And today it's the Relax Inn. Across the street, this is a Roadrunner Lodge. Alright, so our Roadrunner Lodge used to be called the Leatherwood Manor Motel, built in 1964 by Agnes Leatherwood. Now it's called the Roadrunner. 2-story L-shaped building designed with the unique mountain charm. Original gable roofs. And the overhangs, they've survived. That's an amazing sign right in front of here for the Leatherwood Manor, and a heated pool. It's right there. It's all been filled in. Original sign is 25 feet tall, supported by an A-shaped frame, huge leatherwood Manor football, and a shiny beacon light at the very top. Anyway, it's advertises overlooking the beautiful Tucumcari mountain on busy Route 66. Across the street, this is the Golden Dragon. It used to be called the Hall's Restaurant. Anyway, this Golden Dragon was established in 1966, but before that, in the 1950s, it was Hall's Restaurant, served American and Mexican food. The original sign up front was supported by 2 steel poles, had a marquee, Hall's logo, and a little football shape with the word restaurant right in there. When the Golden Dragon here opened, the new owners had kept the building almost exactly the same. They changed the neon sign up front. It's got that football. Today we have a dragon on top, says Golden Dragon, and sort of Chinese characters under it. So this guy, Golden Dragon's been here for quite a long time. 1966. That's like, I don't know, almost 60 years. Now the Golden Dragon looking east. Here's a 1970 photograph, what it looked like. We have the Leatherwood Manor on the left and the Chevron Standard Oil behind it. On the right is our Golden Dragon here. Then we have the Circle S Motel, Denny's, the Apache Motel, and a bunch of cool cars all around. So we have the new modern La Plaza Court, and originally this was just called La Plaza Court, built in 1947. Kind of shares a little eave there with the Roadrunner on the right. Had 15 units, in-room radios, Spanish style. Building here with roof garages between the units, arch parapet designs on the front facades, even a large La Plaza inscribed in the front office. So out in front there's a low blue colored sign that held up 2 posts or 2 poles, later a new neon sign, and a tall pole was installed. The motel closed for a long time. The owner of the Roadrunner over here, they bought it, fixed it up, removed a lot of the Spanish theme, erected a new sign up here, top of the pole. Anyway, here's what we have today, La Plaza Court. So it's kind of a combination, Roadrunner, La Plaza. That's interesting. Here we have a donut shop. These 2 long steel poles. Not sure about the history of this place, but it's been open a long time. Sweet Stop, fresh daily, 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is our TP Curio Shop. Started out in 1944 as a Gulf station. Typical box style, rounded corners, flat canopy over the gas pumps, raised office, large windows, a circular Gulf sign over the canopy. After the war ended, added groceries, meats, curios to the business. 1959 became a Texaco. And then when Route 66 was widened through town, the city removed the gas pumps up front and became a full-fledged curio shop. The owner removed the canopy and then added this giant TP Curio sign with that Saguaro cactus right there. Here's another look at our beautiful TP Curio shop. Isn't that darling? In this old photograph, you can also see the donut shop to the left. So looking westbound, this way, we've got a couple things. On the left is Leland Curios and Gulf Station, and on the right's the Lenora Court. Lots of other relics to check out. Next door, this marijuana dispensary called Puff. Used to be Meadows Restaurant. Anyway, 1950s, owned by Dora and Phil Meadows. The original building was a very simple brick-laid box design with bold monument-like neon sign up front. Inside had friendly, clean decor, green walls, yellow counters, chessboard patterned floors. Always a friendly welcome. Today it's a marijuana dispensary. Anyway, let's see. Oh, we got another gas station next to the marijuana shop. It's called McDonald's Chevron gas station, owned by Harold McDonald, sometimes called Al's at one time, specialized in major tune-up jobs. Looks a little different. The canopy gas pump islands are all removed. You can see the two bays here in the back, and the little Chevron station up front where the gas station used to be. Across the street here, it's called the Townhouse Motel. And today it's the Tucumcari Welcome Center on Route 66. This building here began as Rainbows and Court. Later renamed it the Townhouse Motel. Advertised accommodations and comfort found only in the finer motels, a swimming pool, TV, and phones. It's a U-shape, 2 stories in the back, 1 story on the sides, and a little swimming pool right in the center there of the courtyard. The original buildings had flat roofs. Now they're a little more slanted and gabled. But the original fancy yellow arrow is still up there on top of the visitor center sign. Anyway, see that? Clint Eastwood stayed here. Anyway, he did a lot of filming out in Tucumcari during his TV days. And here's a famous Blue Swallow Motel. So our Blue Swallow Motel, iconic, built in the 1930s and still open today, listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The first thing people see is this beautiful neon sign up here with that blue flying swallow right there. Symbolizes safe homecoming to sailors. He lights up like a beacon every night. Anyway, it's built by the carpenter W.A. Huggins, then owned by Ted Jones. L-shaped motel, 12 units, garages between the units that are still there today. You kind of park your car right in there, which is pretty rare. The original motel had a pink stucco facade, decorated shell designs, stepped up parapet, on-site office and manager's residence right in front. So in 1958, the motel was acquired by Lillian Redmond as a gift from her husband, Floyd. They adopted that super cool neon sign right up front. Anyway, the original buildings look a lot different than what we had today. The reception building certainly looks different, and the rooftops have staggered parapet facades. Used to be an inspiration for Back to the Future Part 2, and also inspired Disney Pixar Cars to create the Cozy Cone Motel. You also find that at Disneyland. Anyway, the owner, Lillian Redmond, became a part of Route 66 folklore. Eventually sold the motel in the 1990s. Went into disrepair, but now it's opened up again. And you could stay here if you wanted this great blue swallow. Anyway, I like this little place right here. This here is Johnny's Conoco Station, built in the 1950s. Later it was called Price's Conoco. Today it's the Continental Oil Company, established in 1875, that merged with Phillips 66 in 2002. 2-bay garage, huge upward extending canopy right up front there. Gas pump island underneath. They used to have red painted siding and red gas pumps, and today we have yellow siding and white gas pumps. But gas pumps are still Conoco right there. So across from the Blue Swallow and our Conoco, we have this big vacant lot here. This was the site of the Grande Courts, built in the 1940s. Tiled baths, panel-ray heat, kitchenettes, good cafes nearby, filling stations, drugstore, curio shop, grocery stores. Anyways, a good place to stay at a price you can't afford. And the tourist court was delightful white stucco walls, narrow green Spanish tile awnings over the windows and doors, There's a cute sign in front with a Mexican hombre wearing a sombrero, riding a donkey, and a small prickly pear cactus was outlined right in the center. So anyway, you have a vacant lot today. It's torn down in 2000. Here we have more places here. Check out the Motel Safari on Route 66 here. Built by Chester Dorer in 1959. And it's pretty much unchanged over 60 years. Has a terrific Googie style architecture, modern atomic and space age inspiration. And around the back we'll see a U-shaped layout. The motel boasted 23 lovely, well-furnished units. Color TV, tub, shower, room phones, carpeted. Anyway, here's what we got. It's beautiful. Eve here, her awning canopy, the office, historic Route 66. Even had a heated pool. Anyway, completely renovated in 2007. Our Motel Safari up here with that guy in a camel out in Egypt or something like that. That's pretty neat. This here, another gas station called Johnny's Shell Filling Station. Back in the Route 66 days, flat canopy roof. Originally had 2 bay garages there. Okay, on the right, and then 3 more were added later on the left here. We've got 2 pump islands under the canopy with that great looking car underneath. So today was the Auto Pros Complete Auto Care, but I don't know, I think it's gone out of business or something. This guy here, it's the Outlaw Tattoo. Not really. This is the Cornerstone First Edition Pizza and Subs, but today I think it's a bakery. But in the old days, this is home to Jerry's Drive-In Liquors. Had a great fancy U-turn shaped neon flashing arrow sign. See the arrow sign today? It's still here. The Outlaw Tattoo. Drive-In is also part of the original sign, but above that used to say Jerry's. And today, I don't know, you get bakery and baked goods and ice cream at this little shop. And over here is our donut shop. Tucumcari Donuts. Used to be a Pizza Hut. Right there, in this old photo, you could see the Pizza Hut sign right across from Jerry's Liquor. A couple doors west, this is the Trails West Lounge. Packaged liquor. It's like a Western place. Originally this was called the Orbit Lounge. Dates back to the 1950s. Started out as a grocery store. 60s, it was updated to give it a more funky, googie style space age appearance. Old neon sign was amazing. Even had a funky satellite gizmo at the top of this sign right here, but it's kind of fallen down. Anyway, today the lounge has this Western cowboy look with rustic wood slats. And that brick wall monument right there, that's original. Sticks up above the roofline there. So Clint Eastwood used to come here a lot when he starred in Rawhide from 1959 to 1965. It's called Jerry's Packaged Liquor, the Orbit Lounge. Some newer buildings. This here is called Vista. It's the old Shell station called Swift's Shell Station. Once again, we have another typical ranch style design from 1960. It's got that low slope gabled roof, brick finished, glazed service bay doors. See, look at this beautiful canopy here coming down. Got yellow trim there. It says Vista, but really Shell. There's a sign, TJ's New Life Auto Detailing, car wash, but it's all boarded up today. Got the 3 service bays on the right there, the panel windows, and up front little gas pump islands, and the office on our left. We used to have a Shell logo extension right on the chimney there. This is brackets on the chimney. We used to have a sign there that said Shell. And up ahead is the Americana Motel. Here we have the Americana Motel, Route 66. Built in 1935. Began as a state motor lodge. Had a U-shaped layout. We see today in the central cottage style office, right in the middle. Even had covered garages between the units. We have, this looks great. Advertised as having 19 new modern units, panel array heat, foam rubber mattresses, and inner springs steam heat. Your air-conditioned home away from home. Let's have a different neon fancy sign right up front here. In the 1950s, it was renamed the Desert Air Motel. The neon sign is upgraded to the one we have today. We used to have a saguaro cactus right on top. Anyway, later it was purchased by the Whiting brothers. They changed the neon sign to add the word TV under the slanted motel. The cactus was replaced by the WB shield, and Whiting brothers was added to replace Desert Air. And today it's the Americana Motel on Route 66. And the layout is really pretty much the same. Only the names changed on the sign, and the carports, garages are filled in. And what do we got? Across the street, oh, here we go. That's called Lenora Court. Real famous Lenora Court and gas station from the 1930s. To the right was something called the 66 Motel. It's not here anymore. Anyway, there's really two parts to the Lenora Court. The brown building on the right was a motel. To the right of that was another motel you can't see, but this one here has this classic Spanish mission style building. And the original building extended a little more further to the right. On the left, it's not here anymore, it's torn down. It's a stucco adobe, whitewashed, tiered, two-story Conoco gas station. Had 3 gas pumps in front, no canopy, and this beautiful, great neon sign on top of the building said Lenora Court. Then around 1960s, Lenora Court was rebranded as Lenora Lodge. The Conoco station became a standard chevron. Had a super long flat canopy covering the 3 pump islands. Then finally both structures were replaced by this new building here. It's called Boulevard Cleaners and Laundromat. On the top is what we call the Wash Lady, 8-foot high neon sign. She lights up at night. Put here in 1990. And this guy here, he's called George's Texaco. Originally it was called Linda Texaco in 1945. Offered washing, greasing, simonizing, battery changing. Later became George's Texaco. Got our flat canopy roof on top. 2 gas pump islands. Multi-paneled windows on the garage bays there. And originally it's painted yellow and blue. And now it's kind of white with this black rock kind of finish look. And across Route 66, this is Loretta's Burrito Hut Restaurant. New Mexican food, burritos, tacos, enchiladas, tostadas, Frito pie, nachos, the best hamburgers in Tucumcari. It was once part of the Sahara Sands Motel, which is this structure right here on the left. At one time it was called Joe's Get Your Kicks on Route 66 Cafe. Now it's Loretta's. This is Sahara Sands here. Anyway, had this awesome sign right up front, giant neon Sahara Sands Motel, yellow backdrop, mounted on a sort of giant slanted V shape. It's got L-shaped layout on the corner, access from both roads. 1 story, 32 units, sandstone, brick-like stone finish, wall-to-wall carpeting, king-size beds, baby beds, playground, even a heated pool, and a restaurant was added later. Anyway, the restaurant was really clean with wood tables and soft back chairs. Had a great little chef restaurant sign up front for the restaurant. Looks like it's all closed up today. That's our Sahara Sands right there. This guy here is called Rendezvous Cafe. Remember the world famous Esquire Diners Club. Fine food, seafood, steaks, and chops. Even some random curios. It is called Divine Connection Church. So instead of being squared off, it's all rounded here. See that? Little streamlined, rounded look with those beautiful glass block window pattern we have there. Anyway, the interior is set up like your typical 60s diner. Had a funky, multicolored, rectangular pattern floor. Used to be a great looking sign in front reading Rendezvous Cafe, seafood, steaks, curios. Even served as a Greyhound bus depot. And today it's Divine Connection. Jesus, the center of it all. Praise Him. Here's a photograph from 1960 looking east. This way, on the left we have Sahara Sands, then the standard Chevron, the Nora Lodge, which became the Wash Lady, 66 Motel and a few bars. And on the right are Rendezvous, and then George's Texaco, and the Desert Air Motel, or the Americana Motel we have today. So next door to the Rendezvous, our brick building here, used to be a restaurant called Sylvia Anthony's Restaurant. Real famous, specialized in serving Italian, American food, also known for his famous roasted chicken. And on the right, we used to have two long steel poles that held up a neon sign with a chef and a fancy French cook and hat. Across the roof line in front of the building was another neon sign reading roasted chicken. And at one time there was even a giant rooster mounted on the roof. Here we have Sylvia's, the Child Development Center, and we're looking east. 1970 postcard. On our right is Sylvia's restaurant with our chef. The rest looks pretty much the same except our Texaco is having this high vertical blocks instead of the circled Lone Star on the pole. We also have the Saguaro cactus on top of the Desert Air Motel sign down there. It became the Americana. Across Route 66, our Family Vision Care Clinic. That was Ayers Restaurant. We age and cut our own beef. Waffles and pancakes all day. All seafoods, cocktails, air-conditioned, packaged liquors, closed on Sunday. Originally it was an old red brick building. Had a terrific neon sign on top of 3 poles that said Ayers right on top there. Today it's the Family Vision Clinic. We replaced the Ayers sign right there, but kept the 3 steel poles you see from the original neon sign here. Postcard here shows Ayers Restaurant on the corner, steaks, and a big flame on top of the sign. On the right is Sylvia's with her neon chicken on the roof, then the Rendezvous, and the vertical Texaco sign. This building here was King's Western Wear. Had funky looking cowboy sign right up front. I don't know much about this place, but it was right next to our old Family Vision Care Ayers Restaurant. The vacant lot here, that was 66 Drugs. Across the street from our Western Wear, we had another cowboy store right here. Side of Western Curios. Single level, slanted roof, single square, Western Curios sign right up front. Today it's an insurance company. Anyway, it looks a lot the same. Has a block wall in front here. That's new. The metal roof is new. Behind it there is Sylvia's restaurant. Across the street, this rounded, streamlined, art moderne building called Tommy's Steak Shop Cafe. Beautiful building with the rounded corners. Big glass block windows. These noisy cars on the side there. Anyway, specialized in sizzling steaks, fried chicken, regular diners, and dinners. On the right of the lounge in the corner there is a little separate business area. It's called the Hitching Post Cocktail Lounge. But in the 1960s, the Hitching Post was relocated down 4th Street. This guy here, that was the site of the old Byers Mobile Station. And at one time it was also a Gulf Station. Had a rounded sign on the corner on the pole. Now it's all straightened out. So from our steakhouse, kind of looking a little bit west, sort of behind us, we have a postcard here. On the left is a Rendezvous Cafe, Greyhound Bus Depot. We got Sylvia Anthony's Restaurant. Notice a big rooster on the roof. We also have a vertical comida. That refers to a Mexican restaurant. And on the right's the Ayers Restaurant. Notice the 3 steel poles there. Tommy's Steak Cafe, King's Western Wear, 66 Drugs, and Byers Mobile Station on the corner. Later became a Gulf. In the far distance is Gene's Texaco gas station. We'll check that out later. So across the street from our steakhouse, here it's called La Cita Restaurant. Very Route 66-y sombrero up on the roof there. Original color was reddish brown adobe and lighter turquoise blue, and today it's this yellow with the strong kind of brownish accents on it, on the borders. The vintage bright neon sign acts like a beacon to get you to the doors. There's a La Cita sign, Mexican food right there, still open after all these years. On First Street, Route 66, looking west, in this photograph you see Shamrock Station on the left. That's next to La Cita sign, and the Gulf Station on the right before it changed to a Byers Mobile. In the same location looking east, we have the Gulf on the left, and on the right you can see La Cita Sombrero and the Shamrock sign. And that's pretty neat. And this location is the cross street here of First and Route 66. The northwest corner here, we got a former Texaco. This guy here called Yerba Buena, means good herb, little pot shop. Used to be a Texaco called Gene's Texaco gas station. Built in 1962, got a flat canopy, real huge. Right up front there, 2 gas pump islands underneath. Got a double bay garage, advertised minor repairs, road service, pickup and delivery. Anyway, the Texaco closed in 2008. Today it's this Yerba Buena shop, and there's 2 steel poles there. Up above, used to hold the Texaco block letters going across there. Right here at Lowe's on 2nd Street, you head down 2nd Street, called the Main Street District, all the way down. There's some stuff down there, like the train station we won't take a look at. But right here was the location of the old Ozark Trails obelisk, erected here in 1918 by the Ozark Trails Association. Anyway, all these trails are set up for the basis of the state and U.S. highways like Route 66. The monument was removed in 2008, and the only surviving one you find right now is on Route 66 out in the old dirt road of Stroud, Oklahoma. And our Lowe's here, that was an old Safeway. How about that? Grocery store. Here's our Lowe's, old Safeway store. 2nd Street. We have this beautiful mural right on the side of Lowe's here. Get your kicks on Route 66. Across from Lowe's or Safeway, our Family Dollar, Dollar Tree. This fellow here has got that great looking arrow neon sign there, drive-through. This was called the 1970s Waterfield Chevron Standard Oil Service Station. Advertised as 2 expert mechanics on duty, Atlas tires, batteries, accessories, Standard Oil products. Excellent service. What's unique about this building here is the service bay on the left. There is kind of angled there. So you drive in at an angle, also services both parts of the block. This guy here is called the Aqua Mist Car Wash. The side of the old American gasoline station had a large horizontal American sign with the American Flame logo. American's now a defunct brand, but it was once part of Standard Oil, then Amoco. Up ahead, right up from the service station with Dollar General. Across the store, this is Edsell's Shell Station, branded Edsell's Service. That's what they called it. A canopy used to stick out way in front here. There's a canopy with the gas pumps underneath. It's all been filled in. Little office areas right now. But on the side here, see these V-shaped poles right here on the corner? That's the original poles for the sign way up on top there. Cute little building here, Route 66, Wild at Heart Floral, Gifts and Delivery. This is once a famous Lynn's Restaurant and Cafe from 1960s, 66 days. Complete dining service, breakfast, luncheon, dinners, skillet filleted fried chicken at reasonable prices. The building looks a lot the same, but it was originally painted orange with reddish trim and had huge windows up front that are filled in today. At the top was a strange looking spinning propeller with the image of a chicken, some type of meat pie underneath. Today the two steel poles here hold up that Wild Heart sign. In the rear of the cafe back here, see if they're still here. Used to have a big collection of mammoth-sized petrified trees back here. I don't think they're here anymore. Looks like they probably moved them somewhere, but they're here for viewing. Anyway, some were 60 to 80 feet long. Cactus garden, Indian curios, old buffalo rifles, even had a Blarney stone you kiss to bring you good luck. Hey, across the street, this is beautiful. This is our Gullwing Phillips 66 station from the 1960s. Way up front, they got those beautiful large glass windows for the office. And the garage bays are up, but they're glass paneled bays. During the 60s, Phillips standardized their filling stations. Get this triangular Gullwing shape. At the end is a oil derrick. On top was the Phillips 66 logo. Today it says tires. Anyway, this is beautiful, beautiful gas station. And looking east, behind me, this way, old photograph. On the right's our Phillips 66 station, Lynn's Restaurant, the Waterford Chevron Standard Oil. On the left, we have the former American Amoco gas station and the Safeway grocery store, which is Lowe's today. And way in the distance, we got an Esso station in New Texaco. Across from our Gullwing Phillips, this guy here is the hitching post. Moved up here from Tommy's Steak Shop down the street. So the building looks a lot the same, red brick, columns in front, sort of a little privacy wall. Anyway, see that little monument sticking up right in the center there? On top it used to say the hitching post logo in lounge block letters all along the eave and the canopy, packaged liquors all along the side. Looks a lot the same, but kind of abandoned. We have a smoke shop. This guy here is an old auto dealer. This one here is the Whiting Brothers at the end of the block. It's a former Massey's Malco gas station. Malco was a New Mexico brand, opened in the 1930s, acquired by Atlantic in 1950s. 2011, this guy's restored to look like a Whiting Brothers filling station. So it's not a real Whiting Brothers. Anyway, these little touch-up work. Here we got the gas pump islands and little light here. Anyway, it used to be a Malco gas station. Across the street, this guy here says Jesus heals the broken heart. It's all boarded up today. In the 1950s, there's two businesses here. This building on the left was the Huff Motor Company. On the right was a malt shop. See that? Malt Hobby Shop. Oh. The Malt Hobby Shop. Anyway, Lily and Mark Huff, they ran both businesses. Originally down on Center Street in 1940, moved up here. So it acted as a dealership for Packard and Hudson. We had big showroom windows in front. They're a lot bigger, all the way from ceiling to floor. But after they closed American Motors, they dropped the Hudson brand in 1954, and Packard went out of business in 1958. But the malt shop here remained open all the way through the 1970s. But he's not here anymore. And this guy here is the Johnson Shamrock service station. Right here. It's our typical 1970s gas station. Started out as a long, oblong style building. Upgraded, got a new roof line. It's got 2 service bays on the left, paneled windows. Huge office right in front. There's great, beautiful, large plate glass windows. Anyway, this large detached canopy over the fuel pumps. Used to have the Shamrock Circle logo on the side. See that right there? Used to have Shamrock right in there. Today our Shamrock's called the Tucumcari Automotive Auto Repair. This is great antique Route 66 cars all lined up here. I wish I knew which each one was. You can tell they're absolutely beautiful cars. Holy smokes. All up and down here is a great looking car with these nice beautiful fins right there from the 50s and 60s. We even have an Edsel. Holy smokes. Who'd have thought there's even one left in the world. Old Ford Edsel. This is a beautiful car. This is a cruiser. Anyway, we have another Edsel. Man, this guy's fantastic. Holy smokes. Let's go around the other side here. Look at these bumpers. All space age design and called a Citation. Great looking cars. All up and down here. Anyway, wish I knew more about these old cars, but they're pretty neat. There's old Buick here. My goodness, we're gonna hop in the car and drive down to the end here of Tucumcari Boulevard. This here on the corner is called the Travelers Motor Inn. It used to be called Rafters S Motel back in the 1960s. Anyway, the building's been totally remodeled. In the front, the open canopy is still there. But on the end was a giant monument with the name Rafters Motel on top and an S sitting under an inverted V shape. Little branding terminology. The inverted V is called a rafter, hence the name the Rafter S Motel. And on the right here, that's the Budget Inn. Hey, across the street, this is called a Powwow Restaurant and Cocktail Lounge. It's iconic Native American Thunderbird sign right up there on top. It sits on the corner of 8th and Route 66. Anyway, this is the Powwow Restaurant Cocktail Lounge. Box structure. Right in front is new, but behind it is the actual restaurant in the entrance. And we'll kind of go around the side and I'll show you what it looks like. But in the Route 66 days is a long brick building with a white roof with the words Specialty Char Broiled Steaks. And the restaurant's still open. Now it's called the Lizard Restaurant. Here we go, that's the original restaurant right back here. Powwow Lizard Lounge. Behind the restaurant, this is the old Congress Inn. Now it's called the Powwow Inn. Restaurant Lounge was renamed the Powwow, and the motel had 75 rooms, color television, free golfing, heated pool, airport courtesy car. A little lizard here, I survived. His historic Powwow Inn, Lizard Lounge. Anyway, the sign in front looked like a badge with a dome of the U.S. Capitol building. Now it just says Powwow Inn. Now across the street, this is a Budget Inn. Used to be called a Golden W Motel. It's got a U-shaped layout. Let's drive around a circle here. 45 comfortable rooms, phones, TV, individual heat, heated pool right in the center here. That's pretty neat, but it's not here anymore. Also a giant neon sign over the reception area with a big golden W on top. That's been replaced with a sort of bland Budget Inn sign we have today. And this guy here, that was an old pancake house called Uncle Joe's Pancake House. Used to have a fancy bending metal parapet on top with the word Pancake House and Uncle Joe's in a circle in the center. But it looks like it's been replaced. Now we just have this flat looking thing. And here's a photograph looking west on Route 66. On the left is the Rafters S Motel. and the Golden W Motel and some gas stations in the distance. And on the right is the Review Restaurant and the Best Western Powwow Inn. Hey, this building here was a auto sales building called Baum Motors, owned by Frank Baum. Then became Mesa Motors. And a vacant lot on the right, this thing here, was a Carlos Shamrock gas station. It changed out early 1970s, came the Balch Mobile Service Station. Used to have a canopy and pump island in front, but it's been torn down. So this sign here, beautiful neon guy, it's the side of the Westerner Drive-In. At the top it said Westerner, in that little circle there had a hamburger underneath it, and then Home of Quality Food Drive-In right there. I'm not sure what was here, because that was added on a little later. But the hamburger joint was up by these sheds here. Anyway, served daily specials, bigger drinks, smaller prices, happy hour. Very popular spot, opened in 1949 but closed for good in 2000. And it decayed and was torn down. And across the street we have a couple of gas stations. It's right here on Route 66, looking eastbound this way. A little ways up we had 3 cool 1970s gas stations. First an Enco Humble station, next an old Shell, and finally a Texaco. And this here is our Texaco. It's been restored, called Jim's Texaco Station. He also owned Pauley Gas Station over by the Pony Soldier. Also sold Texaco gas. The two buildings look almost identical. Yeah, on the corner here by Jim's Texaco used to be a 1-story brick building called El Patio Lounge. It's all been torn down. Anyway, we got our windmills here, and this post right here, that's for a really old ancient gas station. And here's the foundation. All this rubble here, it's been torn down. Old gas station, no brand, and no service bays, nothing, just a little pump island right here, and a post sticking up. Anyway, we've got our Magnolia station here. This is a restored Magnolia station. Originally it was Gene's Shell service station. It never sold Magnolia gas, but volunteer group decided to come in and make it all fancy. Design here looks like a Texaco with the roof extensions, rounded corners, and that beautiful little monument right on top of the canopy there. Beautiful. Anyway, it might have been a Texaco before it was a Shell, but certainly this was never a Magnolia. Get your kicks on Route 66. There's our little Pegasus. Across Route 66, this is the Ranch House Cafe, opened in 1952. We've got this terrific old rustic sign, neon sign for Ranch House Cafe, Mexican food. Anyway, it has this cool old jalopy right in front there. Cafe's kind of small, has a great looking triangle shaped monument on the facade. Used to read Ranch House Cafe on the top. And above that had a little square read Borden's Ice Cream. Advertised with the slogan, good food always, always good food. This guy here, that's a Frontier gas station, built in the 1970s, then converted to a residence. I'm not sure what's going on today, but it used to have a big sign on a pole that read Frontier and Save. Also had Raring to Go slogan and a red, white, and black sign with a cowboy mounted on a bucking broncaroo, or bronco, maybe a broncaroo. Hey, up here on the left we have Happy Motoring, Route 66. This guy here is an old, restored Enco station. It used to be called Ridgeton's Enco Service, owned by Kenneth Schleintz. He also owned the Humble Enco Esso distributorship out in Tucumcari for this whole region. The giant pole here, that guy used to hold the old Enco sign in bold red letters way up there. And the pump, it's a single pump island here. flat canopy, double bay garage, pane glass windows in the garage doors, and the front office here. It's been all kind of fixed up a little bit, but might need a little more TLC. Here we have the TriStar Inn Express. Dates back to the 1960s when it was originally called the Tucumcari Ramada Inn. L-shaped layout, at a restaurant right in front, and 61 beautiful large rooms. And all the rooms were equipped with long boy beds, heated pool, free teletypes reservation service. Anyway, the sign here used to say Ramada Inn. Had a patriot looking guy standing right next to it. Overall, the whole place hasn't really changed in 60 years. This guy here is called the Buckaroo Motel. Originally owned by the Jordans, advertised nicely furnished rooms, excellent beds, tiled tub and shower, panel array heat and air conditioning, rollways, cribs and TV. One-story building, slanted gable roofs. We have today too. And very little has changed since Route 66 days, and it's still open today. You get a reservation. It's got the great Buckaroo Motel sign right in front. Lights up for us every night. Old days you'd pay $13 a day for this. And that is almost the end of Tucumcari. Here we have the last Radio Shack in America. And of course it's all boarded up. Nothing happens at Radio Shack. The Tucumcari Convention Center, and this monument right here, it's called the Route 66 Monument, created by Thomas Coffin in 1997. It's chrome rock sculpture here. Embraces our 1950s Route 66 days. And the red stone at the base symbolizes little automobile tires you see going across there. In the upper part, that's a tail fin. The lights light up and back and kind of shoot out like a flame. And there's a 66 kind of backwards from our angle, but from the road you can see it the right way. But there you go, Tucumcari. There's 3 more spots we'll see just on the outskirts. So further down, as the road bends to our left, is the Redwood Lodge Motel. Right here. See that sign? For the Redwood Lodge. So we'll take a look at our Redwood Lodge Motel here, owned by George Gantner and his wife. Old motel, 28 units. Today it's an apartment complex. They rent it out to students. Used to have a giant slanted monument in the front, red brick, white roof, with a big motel sign on top. And today, you kind of see what it looks like. Nice little apartment units, mostly for the kids. Real quaint. Underneath the pine trees here. Wow. This is one of the first places you come to Tucumcari when you're headed eastbound on Route 66. Got a nice old car up here and beautiful sign for the Redwood Lodge Motel. Hey, we got the train on our right, and up ahead is a Tucumcari trading post right here. It originally started out as Coronado Court, dating back to the 1930s. The motel was the first one here on the western side of town. The bungalow is still standing, built in this western bungalow style, 1-story hip roof, very popular style in the 1900s. The Coronado over here used to have these 12 rooms and cottages on the left, and it closed in 1970. Anyway, Thelma Ruth, she bought it, opened up an antique shop. You see all these cool antique relics out here right now. It's called the Tucumcari Trading Post on Route 66. So we're going to head to the town this way, 5 more blocks to our last stop in Tucumcari. So headed eastbound on Route 66. This will be our first motel we find here. Going westbound, it's the last one, called the Paradise Motel. It's our final stop. It had the giant, beautiful neon Paradise Motel arrow sign in front, called the Paradise Motel, an old Texaco station. At one time it's called Travelers Paradise Motor Lodge. Old motel, 2-story office, linear layout on the right side of the property. You see, nothing is here today. Had a giant pool in the center parking lot. Of course, it's all filled in. It was Payless Inn's motel at one time. Anyway, on top of the office was a huge sign that said Paradise Motel. And in front on the left, see all this here was the main building. And up here on the left, there's a cafe and former Texaco gas station up here. Okay. One time it said Sinclair as well, but it's always a Texaco. Had a hip-shaped canopy over a single pump island. But this is all you have left of this beautiful place out here in Tucumcari. The Paradise Motel is not so much paradise anymore, but you get a bed. All right, it's free room and board today. If you want, what kind of, who's up here, a little tile work. See, step-up foundation here for the hotel and office area. And looks like abandoned cars here. I don't know, some sort of structure, all rusted out. Right, that's what's left of our beautiful motel out here. Anyway, that looks like maybe the Texaco station and cafe right there. Oh my goodness. Anyway, that's all you got for this once beautiful, popular site out here, Tucumcari, from way back when. Anyway, that's our tour of Tucumcari, New Mexico. We're going to head westbound towards Santa Rosa and all sorts of other cool stops along the way. So thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Bye.